Ever notice how when men have sexual problems, it's a whole industry? There are pills with catchy names, primetime commercials, entire doctor specialties dedicated to it. But when women struggle, crickets, silence. Like the problem doesn't even exist. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Women absolutely experience sexual dysfunction. And I'm not talking about rare cases. This is incredibly common. What does it actually look like? Well, there's lack of desire, just zero interest in sex, even when everything else in life is fine. There's arousal issues, wanting to feel something but the body just won't respond no matter what. Difficulty reaching orgasm, or needing extremely specific conditions that feel impossible to achieve. And then there's pain, actual physical pain during sex that makes the whole experience something to dread rather than enjoy. These aren't small inconveniences. They're real medical conditions that can stem from hormonal imbalances, medication side effects, nerve damage, psychological trauma, relationship problems, or chronic stress. It's complex, it's legitimate, and it affects millions of women. So here's the million-dollar question. If this is so common, why does it feel like nobody's talking about it? First reason, the symptoms are invisible. Here's what makes women's sexual dysfunction so insidious. It doesn't create obvious failures that others can see. A man with erectile dysfunction can't hide it during sex. It's right there. But a woman? She can participate in sex fully, go through all the motions, seem engaged, and feel absolutely nothing inside. No pleasure, no connection, no satisfaction, just lying there thinking about tomorrow's grocery list or that work email she forgot to send. She's basically acting her way through it. And her partner? Might have zero clue anything's wrong. From the outside, everything looks completely normal. This means women can suffer in silence for years without anyone, sometimes even themselves, realizing there's an actual problem that could be addressed. Second reason, women express distress differently. When men feel anxious about sexual performance, it often shows up as obvious stress, nervousness, maybe even avoiding the situation entirely in ways that get noticed. But women's anxiety tends to manifest differently. Instead of visible panic, you get emotional withdrawal, a gradual cooling off. She becomes distant, less affectionate, finds reasons to go to bed late or wake up early. She's not having dramatic conversations about it, she's just quietly pulling away. And here's the thing, that behavior is so easy to misinterpret. Is she stressed about work? Tired from taking care of the kids? Just going through a phase? Maybe she's not a very sexual person? The real issue, that she's experiencing genuine sexual dysfunction, gets completely missed because the signs are so subtle. But here's where it gets really messed up. Society taught women this is supposed to be normal. This is the part that makes me genuinely angry. In so many cultures around the world, women have been taught that low sexual desire is fine, expected even. In some contexts, it's actually considered a virtue. Good girls don't want it too much. Ladies shouldn't be too eager. A respectable woman doesn't prioritize her own pleasure. Think about what this does. When a woman experiences low desire or can't enjoy sex, instead of thinking something might be wrong with my health, she thinks, well, this is just how women are supposed to be. The problem gets normalized, rationalized, swept under the rug. And if she does feel distressed about it, that anxiety gets internalized. She feels broken or abnormal for wanting to enjoy sex. She might feel shame for even bringing it up. So she stays silent, and the cycle continues. This cultural programming is so deep that many women don't even recognize their sexual dysfunction as dysfunction. They just accept it as their reality. And finally, the research and media completely ignore it. Here's a fun fact. The vast majority of sexual dysfunction research focuses on men. The funding goes to male issues. The clinical trials test male treatments. The news articles report on male breakthroughs. When was the last time you saw a primetime commercial for women's sexual health? When's the last time you heard a casual conversation about women struggling with arousal the way people joke about erectile dysfunction? This creates a vicious cycle. Researchers don't study it much, so doctors aren't trained on it, so they don't ask about it, so women don't report it, so it seems less common than it is. So researchers don't prioritize it. Around and around we go. The medical establishment has essentially decided that men's sexual problems are urgent healthcare priorities while women's optional. Psychological? not real medicine. And the media reinforces this every single day. We see endless discussions of male performance, male satisfaction, male needs. Women's sexual health gets maybe a paragraph in a wellness magazine if we're lucky. So, what's the actual truth here? Women experience sexual dysfunction at roughly the same rates as men. Some studies suggest even higher. It causes real distress, relationship problems, decreased quality of life, and sometimes depression or anxiety. But it's hidden behind bodies that can perform even when feeling nothing, hidden behind quiet withdrawal instead of obvious stress, hidden behind cultural messages that say women aren't supposed to want or need sexual satisfaction anyway, hidden behind a medical system that barely acknowledges it exists. The anxiety is there, the frustration is there, the pain is there, the sense of something being wrong is there. It's just invisible to everyone else. Until we actually start paying attention, until we make space for these conversations, until we treat women's sexual health with the same urgency, research funding, and medical attention that we give to men's. Because here's the thing, when we ignore women's sexual dysfunction, we're not just ignoring a medical condition. We're sending a message about whose pleasure matters, whose pain deserves treatment, and whose quality of life is actually worth prioritizing. And that message? It's loud and clear.